Is my voice audible?
Wait. I have to
Yes.
yet go live.
Yes, ma'am.
Please start.
Okay, ma'am. Engage, enlighten, and encourage, especially. Just be yourself. Social media is a community. Everyone is an asset. By Susan Copper. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. I am Dhatri Trivedi from India. Today, I welcome all the participants from all over the world to join this event and to make this event special. And I also thank on behalf of my team from Aisat Ruxana from India, Azra Mia from South Africa, and Tatenda from Zimbabwe. Today, in this technological world, a lot of advancement has taken place. Media is one of them. People from all over the world use social media. Among the population, mostly it is used by teenagers, children, and youngsters. No doubt, social media is a platform where everyone can learn many skills like arts, psychology, science, etc., or being an influencer, as the opportunities are endless. As it is advantageous, we should not forget this disadvantage as well. For instance, when a person is using a social media, or he or she does not notice the time being passed, as a result, a lot of time gets wasted. Another major drawback is the threat of cyber crimes, which takes place worldwide, and sometimes innocent victims become part of it, as it proves that this issue needs to be raised at global level. So here we are today to raise this issue at a global level with the help of the platform by IIU. So now I will ask my friend Azra to moderate and start the event.
Hello everyone, I am Azra F. Mia from South Africa, and today I am moderating this event. I am also one of the core team members of this initiative taken by Gayatri Trivedi. She is the lead member in this project, and she is such a wonderful girl from India who has given me the chance in this event to lead and moderate this event. I would also like to thank my colleagues Aisha Ruxana from India as well as Tatena Mpofu from Zimbabwe for being constant supporters to promote this event. And now I would like to talk a little about ISDC, which is the International Student Development Council. I would like to mention that the International Internship University has the ISDC program, which is the Student Development Council, allowing the youth of the world to be educated together. Now, let's move on to our wonderful speakers of today. Our very first speaker is Mannat Pankul Anuja. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. She is 9 years old but has a rocking spirit. She is a student of DLF Public School, Ghaziabad, and Delphites of Class 5. She is the youngest Speak Up champion and won a MacBook Air. She is among the top 100 child prodigies in the world. Today, she would like to talk about cyber crimes happening around the world and what can be done to minimize them. The stage is yours.
Thank you so much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all eminent speakers present live here at International Internship University conference to discuss about the perks of social media. Myself, Manat Pankular Neja, Youth Ambassador, IIU India, and PRO of International Student Development Council, IIU. Let me begin with a beautiful quote. Social media now makes it easier to organize protest movements, even or perhaps especially in authoritarian regimes. Hope you all agree with me. This reminds me about the golden words of Norway diplomat Christian Lewis Lange. Technology is a useful servant but a dangerous master. He said these words during his Nobel Peace Prize acceptance speech in 1921. He meant to describe how the advancement of technology has led to it being a useful tool to aid humans in their work, but he warned of the possibility that it could evolve and become an uncontrollable entity. Right, his prediction came true. After 95 years later, technology has grasped the attention of the people around them, making them their servants. This has led to the relationship between the general public and natural being, damaged to the point where people are concerned about with the health of their technology rather than the health of their backyard and surrounding environment. Cybercrime and social media are two major global problems that impact society. Today, are more accessible to computers and the internet than in years prior. Nonetheless, perpetrators attack social media with illegal activity to facilitate their crime. There are different strategies or practices by various countries to combat cybercrime. However, identity theft, cyberbullying, phishing are three major types of cybercrimes, which are impacting social networking websites such as Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Cybercrime is the most discussed issue of the 21st century. The technology sector worldwide is witnessing a boom in the consumer of smartphones and the internet, which is raising concerns with regard to the privacy and security of the users. Owing to this reason, it is highly essential for all the users to know about cybercrime and security. Cybercrime is a dangerous attack a company or an individual may face. There are many cases where the cyber attack has brought massive loss to the company and individuals due to the data hack. We live in a technology driven area, and every piece of information is now fed on computers. Cybercrime involves an act on computers and digital devices. These cyber acts can prove hazardous not just for the organization but also for the nation. There are many digital attack cases in India and globally pushing for more security measures. These attacks are also affecting the economy of the country too. There are many examples of cybercrime, including fraud, malware, viruses, cyber stalking, and others. Due to these, government agencies and companies are investing more in the maintenance and hiring of cybercrime experts. Now, a highly complex cybercriminals network works on attacking the system for data collection. This is the form of cyber stalking, trafficking, and grooming. Over the years, this type of cybercrime has been taken seriously by the law enforcement agencies. I'm sure we understand these terminology well, like hacking. In this type, the computer system of the person is hacked to get personal information. In many countries, including India, hacking is a punishable act. Cybercrime is about violating copyright and downloading music or movies. In India, many movies before their releases are leaked on the movie download sites, which bring a huge loss to the organization. Cyber stalking. It is online harassment by an individual or a group of people. Normally, the stalkers target an individual and harass online. There are many cases of cyber stalking in India, resulting in the target person ending up taking shelf life. as every coin have two sides. If problem is there, solution will also be there. But we should look for the same. Now we'll share some actions we can take to minimize risk. Disconnect and detach. In case of an ongoing attack on your IT infrastructure, your first step should be to disconnect the device from the internet, as this is the most effective way to prevent further loss of data. In case of cyberbullying or cyber stalking, one should simply step away from the screen before proceeding to initiate legal action. In the event of a successful phishing attack where you are connected into revealing private and confidential information, you should immediately initiate steps like freeze your bank accounts and credit cards, alter your internet and mobile banking passwords. Take legal action. Do not ignore and delay the process. Initiate legal action even as you are trying to minimize the negative consequences of the cybercrime. Contact your local cybercrime investigation cell to file a written complaint against the cyber criminals. Provide detailed information about nature of the crime, extent of damage, relevant documents, data, and other information and relevant to the complaint. Never make the mistake of assuming that cyber criminals cannot be caught. Inform your contacts. Theft of your virtual identity can be misused by the cyber criminals to steal information and data from all your online contacts. Use social media to spread word about the incident. This simple step will minimize risk of your identity being misused to commit further crimes, and you will ensure better awareness about cybercrime amongst your friends and relatives. Take preventive steps. For the future, install licensed antivirus software. Use a strong password with a combination of alphanumeric characters and never disclose your banking details to anyone. Well, cyber thefts continue to remain a challenge and no one is immune to it. However, the right action at the right time will definitely help reduce the damage. We all know adults are easily accessible to the pros and cons of social media compared to children. That are less capable to realize what is convenient for them. As a result, children are becoming victims of cyberbullying via social media. My advice to all parents is that they should focus more when their kids are using phones or computers in the house, and it should be in the presence of parents, so that parents can be aware of what their kids are doing in social media. Though not all people are victims to cyberbullying, they are still at risk. Crimes by computer vary, and they don't always occur behind the computer, but they are executed by computer. The hacker's identity range between 10 years old to 67 years old. Lastly, would say threat is a mirror of security gaps. Cyber threat is a mainly reflection of our weakness, as an accurate vision of digital and behavioral gaps is crucial for a consistent cyber resilience. Thank you.
Thank you, Mannat, for that wonderful speech, and thank you for expressing your views and making us feel inspired. Okay, now I would like to call upon our next speaker, which is Shanawaz Khan from India. He is a wonderful human being from India, and today he would like to present his views on his personal experience of social media. The floor is yours.
Greetings, everyone, including president, founder, organizing member, project lead, project co-lead, and my fellow speakers. I am Shah Nawaz Khan, and I am from India. I am a poet and a vocalist. Today, we have gathered to speak and talk about our experiences of social media, my observations, and my conclusions that I've drawn up. Being given chance to speak at this place at IIU is an honor to me. Falling smartphone prices have driven the massive increase in the usage of mobile smartphones across the globe. Internet has become handy. The easier
Shanawaz, seems as if you have muted yourself. You now
uh,
speak, no? Let's hear.
am I audible now?
Yeah, you're perfect. You're perfect. Go ahead.
Okay. So hello. Am I audible now?
Yeah,
Yes.
you're fine. You're fine. Like there is some sort of connection issues, I hope. You just unmute yourself, then you can go proceed further.
Yes, you are fine. Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
it's perfect. It's perfect right now.
Okay. I was speaking, the easy availability of super fast internet at very low prices are most visible factors of the large scale rise in the adoption of social media. Thanks to the telecom companies, they know how to leverage, and they know all the marketing tactics to know their job. They know how to get the task done. While internet is not synonymous to social media, much of internet in today's era consists of social media and its user. According to the data, average daily time spent on internet by an individual is 3.5 hours, out of which, on an average, 3 hours is spent on social media site alone. That is 6 times more spending time. That is 6 times more than spending time on internet. However, in this case at least, I am above average. I can say that I'm above average as my average time spent on social media in a day is more than 4 hours. Among adult age group who have their mind developed to a maximum level, 66% of them are on social media. Whereas among teens whose mind and body is still on a developing stage, 82% of them are on social media. And these numbers are of the active users. In India, with a total population of 1.40 billion people and counting, a whooping 658 million, that is 47% of the total population, is now on social media. In India, where there are 1.40, 658 million of population, that is 47% of the entire population, while 66% of people in the adult group. So what do we do? What do we do? What do people do on social media? Well, as a teen, I can confirm most of the time is spent on mindless scrolling. That is funny. Apart from that, I have interest and reasons behind being on social media. I stay connected with my friends. I know what they are all up to. And even if we don't communicate, I pretty much have the knowledge of how they have been through in their social media posts. I joined social media so that I can make new friends with similar interests like me, as I had very few real life friends. And the need of validation, people rely on social media, the which can often which is often the mood deciding feature for them, which is surely not a healthy habit, which is surely not a healthy kind of dopamine hit, like reading a book, writing a journal, or going for a walk gives to our brain. Sharing our achievements and our art is great, but letting those numbers of likes and comments under them decide anything is not okay. Many young minds fall into this trap that having a lot of followers on social media, getting a lot of likes, getting a lot of comments will make them more socially acceptable, which is actually not true. Having so and so number of likes is not happiness. That is just a source of temporary happiness. That is just a source of pleasure for all of us. And that happiness is not going to last. That is just a big dopamine hit that our brain gets when we see those number of hypes in our social media lives. When teens see others getting appreciated, the kind of peer pressure hits them as well. They want to do the same stuff that what others are doing. They want to do the same thing what others are doing in order to get appreciated. in order to get the same kind of attention. And when this goes unaddressed, this can result in concerning mental health issues. They may get exposed to harmful or inappropriate content. They may consume the harmful or inappropriate content like you harmful or inappropriate content like drugs, violence, sex, dangerous people that might take advantage of them. Engaging with unknowns can lead to the certain privacy concerns, including the collection of their data, identity theft, or being hacked. Sexting. Now, this is another vulnerable topic that teens and everyone around us who is using social media must know, because this is one of the most common crime, one of the most common cyber crime. We might trust the person who we are sexting with right now, but people change, and that is a fact. People change, unexpected things happen, and life changes as well. Today, the person we are close to can be our friend, can be our loved one, but in future, no one knows what is going to happen. Life is uncertain, and they might take advantage of what we have done in our past. So let us make sure that today we spend our present days in a wise way, making right decisions. Today we spend our present making right decisions so that today's decisions do not harm us in any way to ourselves in future times. What is the solution to prevent such cases from happening? Here, practicing digital hygiene comes first. What is digital hygiene? Do not download sketchy apps or pirated music. Look, I should be honest about this. All of us, in order to get the free material or in order to get the free movies, we go to Telegram, we join some kind of channel, and then we use that material. This might harm us. This has in fact harmed a lot of people. It can be risky. And telling about the password, I guess I should tell about this. We need to ensure that our passwords are we keep changing them regularly so that nobody can ever guess what is our password actually is. And firstly, and the most important part, we should never keep the same password. Like even if we have several email IDs, we have Instagram account, we have social media account, and we have several Facebook accounts, but we keep the same password so that we have that ease of not having to remember all the password. When we are doing that, we are giving our brain a rest, but we are putting ourselves in a risk of getting hacked easily. Because imagine if a person hacks into your email, and imagine if a person hacks into your email, your Facebook, your Instagram, your secondary email, everything has the same account. So now it is easy for anyone to get into your device, to get into all your data, and then they might use it for themselves. They might sell it on dark web, or they might use it to manipulate you, or they might use it to harm you in any way. Many social networks. So I would like to make a point over here. What we can do as a solution is turn on the two-factor authentication. It is available everywhere. It is available on Instagram. It is available on email. And so that to ensure that nothing happens, to ensure that we do not get harmed in any such way, we should keep more at least two emails. One is primary and another is secondary. Primary should be used only for the official purposes, while secondary should be used in places like Zomato, Swiggy, or any random website that we use to log in. Now, because these information that we provide can be used, create strong passwords comprised of excuse me. Create strong password comprising of random letters, numbers. Update the apps regularly so that there are no bugs and every bug is fixed when new version comes in. Keep your online circle of friends as limited as possible to the people you know, to the people you can trust on. And use the block feature or report bullying as soon as you experience any kind of harassment, any kind of issue you face. And if you find yourself victim to a cyberbullying, don't engage with your attackers, as it could make the situation worse. Instead, keep the records of messages, texts, or emails that you might have received from the cyber bullies and report this activity to your adult and administrators. Reach out to your parents and other trusted adults like your teacher or your senior so that you save yourself by from getting harmed with any kind of issue. This was me, Shanawaz Khan, about social media, its perks and its advantages and disadvantages. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that wonderful speech. Our next speaker is Gopinath Kunjundran from United Arab Emirates. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He is a fellow from the United Arab Emirates. He is studying at British International School, and today he would like to express his ideas on threats faced by people on social media. The floor is yours.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, we do.
All right. So
Yes,
good
we
morning,
can.
everyone. This is Gopinath from British International School.
Sorry to
Yes.
interrupt. Can you just put it on full screen so that it is visible to all the users?
This is the maximum mic.
You still have the chance of, projecting it in a few, isn't it? No, you don't need to, increase that. You just have to go there and look for slideshows or something as such. If you do
Is this fine?
well, anyhow, go ahead.
All right. So good morning. This is Gopinath from British International School. Today, I'll be presenting on the topic cyber crimes. I'll be talking about cyber stalking and online grooming. Let's get it started. So these are the contents of the presentation. First, we'll be looking at what is online grooming, the causes of it, and how to minimize the risk of online grooming. Next, we'll move on to cyber stalking, the reasons behind it, and how to avoid cyber stalking. So finding something in common, telling personal stories, sharing something just a little vulnerable, and creating a bond. We all do this to build trust. That's a good thing, right? But what if someone takes this trust to a place where we never want it to go? Not everyone is who they say they are, and this can be a difficult concept for some small children to understand. Online grooming is a term used broadly to describe the tactics abusers use to deploy through the internet to sexually exploit children. It can happen quickly or over time, but at its core, it's a process of exploiting trust to shift the expectations of what safe behavior is and leveraging fear and shame to keep a child silent. Harm caused by online grooming can be sexual abuse, both in person and online, and the exploitation to obtain sexually explicit images and videos of the child. Grooming techniques could also be used to radicalize someone or to obtain financial information from the child or their family. Moving on, I'll divide this into two parts. How does online grooming happen and who's at risk? Groomers are very skilled at what they do, and they can often befriend a child by appearing to have the same hobbies and interests as them, using fake accounts and photos. They may also appear to be the same age as a child. However, not all groomers will choose to mask their age or identity. Some groomers may impersonate as an aspirational figure, such as a modeling scout or a sports coach, and whilst others may use their age and experience to develop a mentor-type relationship with their victim. So it differs from person to person. A groomer will usually use the same sites, games, and applications as the children in order to gain their trust and build friendship. However, they may seek to manipulate and blackmail, control their child, and potentially isolate from their friends and family. Any content produced because of grooming can then later be used to further threat the child and collect even more explicit content. So who's at risk? Any child can be at the risk of being groomed, regardless of their age, gender, race, or location. But some children may be more vulnerable to getting online groomed due to the risk, other vulnerabilities, or special educational needs and disabilities. So it's important to remember that technology did not create grooming. This process has existed in offline abuse since well as we all carry tiny computers in our pockets. However, the variety of platforms in existence and the prominence of digital environments in our lives has increased abusers' reach and opportunity and allowed more abusers to groom online. So next, we'll be looking at how to minimize the risk of online grooming. Adults still see the world and their identities as largely online or offline. They tend to think of the online world as a set of tools used more for utility than anything else. But for most young men and women out there, there is less of a distinction. There is only one world, and their identities exist in both realms. Put yourself in their shoes and look at it from their perspective. It's important to build trust with your child so that they feel comfortable sharing things with you. Yes, other ways, you can argue that other ways such as keeping your personal information private, using privacy settings online, reviewing apps and other sites kids use and educate themselves or the difference online and real life friends could all minimize the risk of online grooming. But the main idea or the main thing that's going to prevent it or minimize the risk of it happening is when a parent talks to their child and builds good trust so that they feel comfortable sharing things with you, and you can ensure that if anything happens to them, they're always informed about it. So next we'll be looking at a different type of cybercrime, which is cyber stalking. So when carried out sensibly and securely, communication through social networks and other online public forums can be beneficial, both socially and professionally. However, if you're not careful, it can lead to numerous undesirable consequences, one of which is cyber stalking. So what is cyber stalking, you may ask? Cyber stalking is stalking or harassment carried out over the internet. It might target individuals, groups, or even organizations and can take different forms, including slander, defamation, and threats. Motives may be to control or intimidate the victim or to gather information for use in other crimes like identity theft or online stalking. So this is online harassment, which is an extension of cyberbullying and in-person stalking. This can take the form of emails, text messages, social media posts, and more, and it's often methodical, deliberate, or persistent. While blame shouldn't be placed on cyber stalking victims, the current online landscape lends itself to creating easy targets. For example, nowadays, many social media users think nothing of publicly posting personal information, sharing their feelings and desires, publishing family photos, and more. For example, if you received a few negative comments on, for example, Facebook or Instagram, it may be upsetting or it may annoy you, but it isn't cyber stalking yet. However, once you start receiving unwanted and annoying messages repeatedly and feel harassed, then the line has likely to be crossed. In some cases, the line between cyberspace and real life can become blurred. Just like stalking, cyber stalking has the potential to cause a wide range of physical and emotional consequences for those who are targeted. For instance, it's not uncommon for those who are being harassed online to experience anger, fear, and confusion. Moving on, we'll be looking at reasons behind cyber stalking. So the first one being attention. Attempting to get the attention of someone, but if the communication is unwanted, it can be considered harassment. Next, we have identity theft. Using stolen data to pretend to be someone else to perform illegal act. For example, I could stalk someone and gather as much information as possible about them and use that information to perform illegal acts. And finally, targeting an individual or groups of people for opposing beliefs, revenge, or financial gain. If you have problems with someone, it is possible for you to target them, or if they have opposing beliefs, it's possible for you to target that individual through cyber stalking. Next, it is difficult to find and punish professional attackers because they know how to anonymize themselves behind fake personas. Plus, most countries have not yet adopted specific laws that regulate cyber stalking. When it comes to cyber stalking, those who engage in this behavior use a variety of tactics and techniques to harass and humiliate the targets. In fact, many of those who engage in cyber stalking are technologically savvy as well as creative and come up with multiple ways to torment and harass their targets. Here are some examples of how it's done. It's possible for them to post rude, offensive, or suggestive comments online. They could continue to harass the person even after being asked to stop, hack into or hijack the target's online accounts, comment on or like everything the target posts online, and finally, bombard the target with sexually explicit photos of themselves. Finally, we'll look into different ways on how you can avoid cyber stalking. It's not possible for you to completely prevent it or stop it from happening due to the development of social media, but there are certain ways you can avoid the risk of cyber stalking. First of all, do not post sensitive and private information online. This should be a simple one to understand. Avoid posting information about your location and use strong passwords and multi-factor authentication so stalkers can't hack your account. There are multiple layers protecting your account in this case, so it's going to make your account much more safer. Do not open suspicious messages and links from those who you do not trust, because it could be a part of a much bigger scam or some other threats, for example, like phishing or farming. So finally, adjust your social media privacy settings. Potential stalkers might be able to see as little information as possible, so they can't use it against you. So there are many new privacy settings that have been introduced by different social media apps. So it's important for you to make use of them and ensure that you're staying safe online. So yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was a wonderful presentation. Our next speaker
And
is
before that, Asra, once again, Gopinath, can you, like stop sharing the screen? Yeah, fine. Thank you. And to be very specific, you did so well. You did so well. And it was pure research. All of you, all three
yes,
of you.
absolutely amazing so far. Okay, so now let's move on to our next speaker, which is Alina Telelyeva. She is a young lady from Russia who studies at secondary school number 5AR Krasnoyarsk. She is also a global conference presentator. The floor is yours, Alina.
Madam Nazida, is she here right now?
Alina, are you there? Alina. She's on her mobile. Alina, please start speaking, Alina.
Well, if you turn on your camera, you would come to know that you are here. Fine, go ahead, go ahead. The stage is all yours.
The stage is yours.
Afternoon, good evening, dear friends. I'm Alina Telelyeva from Krasnoyarsk, Russia. I'm 17 years old and I'm studying in secondary school number 5. And today I want to present my project on the topic crimes which happening on social media and rules for safety. So nowadays, cybercrime is rapidly developing in the world of technology. Criminals use the personal information of internet users for their own selfish purposes. They even get access to classified government information. The development of technology and the widespread availability of intelligent technologies has led to the fact that there are many access points in users' homes that can be used by hackers. What is cybercrime? Cybercrime is defined as a crime when a computer is used as the main tool for committing a crime. A cybercrime may use the device to access the user's personal information, confidential business information, government information, or to disable the required device. The sale or receipts of the above information on the internet also refers to cybercrimes. Categories of cybercrime. There are 3 main categories of cybercrime: individual, property, and state. Property. In this case, use malicious software to gain access to a web page with confidential information. Individual. This category of cybercrimes attracts a victim, a person, to spread malicious or illegal information on the internet. The victim may be involved in such illegal activities as cyber stalking or human trafficking. Government. This is the least common category of cybercrime, but the most serious. The crime against government agencies is also known as cyber terrorism. Government cybercrimes are usually terrorists or representatives of government agencies of enemy countries. The most common types of cybercrimes. DDoS attacks. They are used to at the same time send a huge number of requests from various sources to the required site, as a result of which they overload the site with a huge amount of traffic and disable it. To do this, large networks are created from users' devices infected with malware. Phishing. In this type of attack, hackers send emails to users with malicious achievements or the URLs of fake websites in order to gain access to their accounts or computer. Many of the emails are not marked as spam. These emails deceive users by claiming that they need to change their password or update payment information, as a result of which criminals gain access to user accounts or their personal and confidential information. Online fraud. Usually, online fraud begins with advertising or spam, in which they promise rewards or offer unrealistic amounts of money. Online fraud includes tempting offers that are too good to be true. And for example, when clicking on a link offered in an advertisement or letter, malware is installed on the user's computer to hack the device and steal information. How to fight cybercrime? In the modern era of technology development, hackers are taking all be hacked, and many rarely change their passwords. There are several rules in order to ensure security for yourself or your companies. Be vigilant when browsing websites. Flag and report suspicious emails. Never click on unfamiliar links or ads. Make sure that the website is secure before entering your credentials on it. Regularly update your antivirus and other programs on your devices. And use complex passwords with more than 14 characters. That's all. Thank you for having me.
Any issues with? Yep. Let's go.
Thank you, Arena. That was absolutely wonderful. Wonderful presentation. Okay, so let's move on to our next speaker for today. Our next speaker is Arena Gregaria. I hope I'm pronouncing your names correctly. She is also a child prodigy from Russia, and today she would like to tell us about her personal experience on using social media. The stage is yours, Arena.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, dear friends. I'm honored to present my report of teenager on the internet at this conference. My name is Arina Grigorieva. I'm a student of secondary school number 5. I'm from Krasnoyarsk, Russia. Nowadays, children and teenagers use phones, computers, and other gadgets, socializing in diverse networks. Suppose they spend a lot of free time surfing the internet, which has a great number of pros and cons. I'm going to talk about some of them. One of the main advantages of the internet is that children can browse various researches and learn new concepts online. In chat rooms, they can discuss matters that are important to them. Personally, I enjoy searching online libraries in quest of new books. My distant friends and acquaintances of mine often recommend a good read as well. In addition, teenagers can boost their communication skills on cyberspace. In social networks, they can come across interlocutors to communicate and make friends with. As for me, I have got lots of friends whom I have never seen live, so we know each other quite well by correspondence. This feature of the internet is extremely beneficial of language learning, making it possible to practice different language skills with native and non-native speakers from around the world. For example, global projects and international conferences provide appropriate condition for improving such skills. The national communication and collaboration also raise teenagers' events, broaden their minds, and develop their critical thinking, their work, and ICT skills. Like most teenagers, I'm keen on music. The internet provides a wide variety of resources for music lovers. You can watch video clips on the YouTube, or you can download favorite songs and sing along. Thanks to blogs and to products, you can also follow your favorite performers and learn about new ones. Besides advantages, there are also disadvantages to social networking. The first and upmost concern is children's health. Let's consider some health measures. As the mobile phone is important for me, my eyes are fixed on the screen for extended periods of time. Such routine is harmful for my eyesight. What is more frequent use a gadget develop body strain like shoulder and back strain. I am aware of these issues and hence try to relax my eyes and body as often as possible. Another problem with teenagers in the internet education. Many of them cannot do without gadgets and social networks. Lots of teens spend better part of their time playing computers and video games. They also text messages and make posts in networks. As far as I am concerned, I am often stressed out if I cannot go online at any time of the day. A lot of my friends and me never go out or socialize without our mobile phone. The last but not least drawbacks in the internet is information validity. Nowadays, there are a high number of data fakes to be found online. Unreliable research are at the same any person for any reason. What is more, cyber criminals commit a great variety of sophisticated crimes. Therefore, children and teenagers should be very careful when research the internet research. Besides, they should be responsible when making own posts on the net. To sum up, obviously, the internet offers some benefits of teenagers. They need to use the cyberspace completely and responsibly so. And here is a quite to taste. Don't believe anything you read on the net, except this. Well, includes this, I suppose. It is all. Thank you.
Arena, that was a wonderful presentation. I said before I continue, any comments on?
Yes, I would like to specifically mention. So when it comes to, cyber attacks or something as such, the basic point that you have to note is that you don't share your ideologies of how you design your password with anyone, be it your own mobile phone or be it anything. Because usually when it comes to mine, or like anyone in general, when it comes to a user of Apple phone, it is way far completely secular than the other mobile brands that we use. And even the Apple, we cannot trust. At times, they get all of the data. And at times what happens is they get hacked. and in turn, which makes all my data go into some other person's hand. And this is not something that is advisable. So, you all have told me about the phishing and, stuff like that. There is another thing called, that comes along with the mail. So once you click on the link by that mail, your computer is going to be completely fluctuated with a kind of, virus. So that viral attack or that injection of viral attack is very serious, that you really have to, clearly and consistently note down the updates that you're getting into. And another point that I wanted to tell you all is that, so in case if you're getting a call from someone and they are asking for your bank account, saying that, they are from this so-and-so bank. So do not give them this. And I hope, the people from India are much clearer in this cause, because we are much familiar to these kind of scams. And apart from this conference has been super great, and all the peoples have completely researched. So while we were
Absolutely. Yes.
it, Ezra. While we were discussing about the topics to decide, we didn't actually come to this idea until it was Datri who told this. So I really feel,
Yes, definitely.
it is something, it
Yes.
is something of goodness to the society, that it actually educates
Absolutely.
the younger generation and helps these people to engage better with the social media, and cyberbullying. So currently doing my second year in that, and I feel like I have to learn a lot from all of you guys. So cheers to that, and I wish you guys have a great life ahead. Yeah, we can move on to the next participant. Thank you, Ezra.
Okay. No problem. But just a quick thing that I would like to say. In relation to health issues when it comes to social media, I feel like a lot of the time, students, when they study, and say, for example, if you study for a big exam the night before, right? And you can, I cannot, because I have to study like a week prior. But when you study, and if you go, like when you take a break from studying, and if you go onto social media, that your mindset from that studying perspective changes completely. And then that can actually, also, whenever you think of social media in itself, there's a lot of bullying and stuff in it, but there are also positives and negatives. So that's what I wanted to say. And thank you, Asad, for that wonderful commentary. Okay, now let's move on to the next speaker of today.
One, Azra.
Sure.
I totally agree with the Azra's point. Like, for example, even I am studying on my own, and for example, I am preparing the notes for my subjects or subjects like biology, and afterwards studying for 2 or 3 hours. And when I go and sit on the mobile, so the first thing I usually do is open social media, and afterwards when I again go back to study, it takes a lot of time to come to the real mindset. Otherwise, we are always thinking,
yes, definitely,
only what will happen next, so I totally agree with the Azra's point. So in my schedule, I would what I usually do, that spend separate the social media hours as well as separate the study hours, so there would be no hindrance between the studies nor the social media.
yes. Okay, let's move on to the next speaker. Our next speaker is Mariam Paktiwal. She is a wonderful and fabulous person from Afghanistan, and she would like to present her views on social media as well as express her ideas on cyber crimes. The floor is yours, Mariam.
Thank you, Azra. Hello, everyone. Greetings from me. Good evening, good morning, and good afternoon to wherever you are right now. Today in this conference, we all have come together to express our opinions and discuss a very hot topic in this era, which is social media among children. Using social media sites is among the most common activity of today's children and adolescents. Any website that allows social media interaction is considered a social media site. including social networking sites such as Facebook, MySpace, and Twitter, gaming sites, and virtual worlds. So in general, social media is not limited to Instagram, to TikTok, to Facebook. Engaging in various forms of social media is a routine activity for everyone, because right now we cannot live without social media.
Like, is it just for me or like for everyone that the network is fluctuating? For Mariam.
Oh, sometimes the network is fluctuating from Mariam's side, maybe.
So I
Yes,
really need to,
also
you know,
it's
tell you
fluctuating
all
from my
this.
side.
Yeah, okay. So I really need to tell you all this. This girl is from Afghanistan, so she's under a lot of control and she doesn't get a proper connectivity right there. So out of all the odds right there, she is here. Yes, Mariam, you can go ahead. Even if you cannot show your face, it's perfectly fine. You can go ahead with your voice itself.
Okay, thank you very much, Aisa. Uh, Engaging in various forms of social media is a routine activity that research has shown to benefit children and adolescents by enhancing communication, social connection, and even technical skills. But, however, according to a recent poll, 22% of teenagers log into their favorite social media site more than 10 times a day, and more than half adolescents log into a social media site more than once a day. 75% of teenagers now own cell phones, and 25% use them for social media, 54% use them for texting, and 24% use them for instant messaging. Thus, a large part of this generation's social and emotional development is occurring while on the internet and on cell phones. And this is something very important because this indicates that without social media, teens cannot live their daily lives in a good, healthy behavior. Recent research indicates that there are frequent online expressions of offline behaviors. By that, they mean that such as bullying, clique forming, and sexual experimentation that have introduced problems such as cyberbullying, privacy issues, and sexting. Other problems that merit awareness include internet addiction and concurrent sleep deprivation. Social media participation also can offer adolescents deeper benefits that extend into their way of self, community, and world, including, such as for myself, it made me really successful in advancing in my career, such as I could find opportunities for educational purposes. I could attend seminars online and I could study online. But its negative impacts are much more larger than its positive impacts. Most risks fall into the following categories, which is peer-to-peer inappropriate content, a lack of understanding of online privacy issues, and outside influences of third-party advertising groups. Cyberbullying, as the previous speakers mentioned, is deliberately using digital media to communicate false, embarrassing, or hostile information about another person. It is the most common online risk for all teens and is a peer-to-peer risk. Researchers have proposed a new phenomenon called Facebook depression, which is defined as depression that develops when preteens and teens spend a great deal of time on social media sites such as Facebook and then begin to exhibit classic symptoms of depression. I have seen lots of people that have fallen into Facebook depression, and most of the time they have their phones with them 24/7. They cannot even leave it when they go to the restroom or when they sleep or anything. It has to be with them 24/7. Sometimes they wake up even in the middle of the night to log into social media and to check for updates. And this is the symptoms of such depression. When internet users visit various websites, they can leave behind evidence, such as in the form of cookies or history. But these evidence which sites use, this collective ongoing record of one's web activity is in technical terms called a digital footprint. And one of the biggest threats to young people on social media side is their digital footprint and future reputations. Because a lot of young people They're not mature enough and they do a lot of things on the internet. And when they leave their digital footprint, this can influence their career in the future. This can have very bad impacts, negative impacts when they apply for jobs or when their CV is being researched by their employers or any other kinds of careers or profession they choose. Even sometimes friends can use this for bullying and many other uses of such. Many parents in today's age are aware that 13 years is the minimum age for most social media sites, but they do not understand why. Why was 13 years an age chosen? There are two major reasons for this. First, 13 years is the age set by the Congress in Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, which actually prohibits websites from collecting information on children younger than 13. Second, the official terms of service for many popular sites now mirror to this Act's regulations and state that 13 years is the minimum age to sign up and have a profile, such as sites as Facebook and MySpace. So it is very important that parents evaluate the sites on which their child wishes to participate to be sure that the site is appropriate for that child's age. Of course, some sites such as Disney, My Club, Penguin, and educational and kid-friendly sites do not have an age restriction, and any person can sign up or subscribe to that site. The advice or the recommendations that I would give to parents, because only parents can control and monitor children. If you were to advise children obviously are children and they would not listen. They get excited by social media because regularly and on a daily basis, new things come up and children love to explore and be curious. So my advice is that parents should talk to children and adolescents about their online use and the specific issues that today's online kids face. Advise parents to work on their own participation gap in their homes by becoming better educated about the many technologies their youngsters are using. Discuss with families the need for a family online use plan that involves regular family meetings, because during these meetings, they can discuss online topics and check for privacy settings, online profiles, or inappropriate posts. This should be very much emphasized, and this can lead to healthy behavior and use of the internet and social media if parents consider this and put their attention into it. Also, parents should discuss with themselves the importance of supervising online activities through active participation and communication, opposed to remote monitoring with a net nanny program, because this indirectly violates the children's privacy. Parents, in fact, should be up to date with today's technology and should try to educate themselves with the newest technology so that they can protect their children better. Thank you very much for your attendance and presence.
Thank you, Mariam. That was absolutely wonderful. Isaac, any comments on that?
Yeah. It was wonderful. And, your initiative, as always, have been extraordinary. And it's time for us to actually welcome Maha ma'am, the president of IIU. So girls and boys right here, let's cheer up for her. She has been a wonderful human being all along. So it's our time that we welcome her all across. Welcome, ma'am.
Welcome, ma'am.
Hello, everyone. I'm really sorry for being not able to join at early time due to previous commitment. I would like to congratulate every one of you for the huge effort you did before and you are doing today in order to inspire us and spread knowledge everywhere. Thank you a lot, and it's a really pleasure to be with you, with IIU usually. You can continue. I don't want just to stop the conference, so go on.
We can go on with the flow, Azra. Next participant, please.
Okay. Now I would like to call upon the next participant of today's program, which is Bryant Atentia. I hope I'm pronouncing names right. He is a wonderful human being from the Philippines, and today he would like to enlighten us on the topic of cybercrimes and its effects, as well as his personal experience of using social media. The stage is yours.
Is he here?
I think so, because there was a one device.
I think so.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Azra, do we have any more participants left?
We have one more left.
Okay, so it's Salma Javadeen, right? You can call her out. I'm just
Yes.
connecting with Bryant.
Yeah.
Okay. Our next speaker is Salma Javadeen. She is a wonderful soul from the United Arab Emirates and studying in the same British International School. Today, she would like to present on the topic of cyber threats. Salma, the stage is yours.
Thank you. One moment.
Salma, would you be able to adjust your position according to the lightings?
Sure, one moment.
Well, another teammate is right here. Welcome, Tate. Let's hear a hi back from you. Fine. Yes, Salma, you can go ahead.
Sorry for the delay.
Can you start presenting it, dear?
Sure. 1 minute. Are you able to see my screen?
Not clearly, but we need now. Can you go ahead with the slideshow option?
Yes, can you get the slideshow option if that is possible?
You go there. This is slideshow, right? This the I think the slides.
I am sharing the slideshow thing. Is it not visible?
So what appears right here is that there is something in the front that actually completely makes invisible at the back. So it would be great,
Yes.
if we get it all along. You just minimize this tab, the tab that you're showing.
Yeah. Is it better?
No. Oh yeah, it's pretty fine. Okay, it's pretty fine right now.
Okay. Please.
Actually, you can cancel that out. It won't be an issue.
Could I take a moment, please? 1 minute.
Yeah.
I won't be sharing. There's some inconvenience, so sorry. Greetings to one all present here. I'm Salma Javadeen from British International School, Ajman, UAE, and I'd like to elucidate you on tech invasion. Fundamentally, a dream to connect the world where everyone could share their experiences and feel less alone. It all began as a source of good, a revolutionary innovation that would help thousands and millions of people speak their voices. Social networking reunited members, found organ donors, funded charities, and established meaningful, systematic connections around the globe. It wasn't long before social media became our matchmaker, our fact checker, our personal entertainer, guardian of our memories, and even our therapist. As time elapsed, we grew naive about the flip side of the coin. We loved the idea of free connectivity, that the requisites of the shadow government were long forgotten. Now, hypothetically visualize an alien invasion. How easily do you think it would be for them to manipulate us? I'd say with eyes closed. For this reason, we no longer have our privacy. Our every move is being monitored by spies we willingly implanted in our daily life to launder money out of us. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the biggest matrix of all. It's the prime source of crime that many turn a blind eye to. When you look around, don't you feel like the world is going crazy, as if it's under some kind of spell? Fake news is becoming more advanced and threatening many societies around the world. Surveillance capitalism secretly captures the private human experiences and treats it as free raw material for boosting sales. Social media polarizes humanity and divides us based on our interest. Dangerous around the world, including the ISIS, hire people online to oppress people. All this is possible because of the mass data gathered every second around multi-billion-dollar platforms. Many people think that Google is just a search box and Instagram is something to see what their friends are doing. However, they don't realize that these big tech companies are competing for their attention. These companies, their business model is to keep people engaged on the screen. These companies have three main goals. The first goal is the engagement goal, to drive up the usage while you're scrolling. The second, the goal, the goal that helps invite people back into the platform. And finally, the advertisement goal. It's to make as much money as possible from advertising. These tech companies have psychologists to hack and manipulate people's minds and use their psychology against them. So how do we protect ourselves from this scandal? Firstly, manage your privacy settings. Learn about the use of privacy and security settings on your social networking sites. Secondly, remember that once posted, always posted. Protect your reputation on social networking sites. What you post online stays online forever. So think twice before agreements and terms and conditions before accessing social media sites. You may be signing up for something you don't want to behind your back. And finally, when surfing on the internet, don't blindly accept all cookies. Make sure you know what cookies you're agreeing to. So let's think twice. Is social media a force for good or a tool for evil? Thank you.
Thank you, Salma. That was absolutely wonderful. Aisat, any comments?
Well, I loved her presentation, even though there were some errors with respect to the slides. She rocked the floor. Okay, so I think, we can move on to Maha ma'am for her comments all across. Even though she joined pretty late, it's fine for us to move. Well, before I give the mic over to Maha ma'am, I would like to tell and thank all the participants for participating right here. And there were a lot of confusions with regards to being the posters or anything as such. So we had a lot of support from the backend team, and we had a lot of support from the graphics team, as well as from the support from Snigdha ma'am, and also from the director Hachar. So our humble thanks and gratitude to all of them. And yes, all of these sweet ladies right here and very pleasant gents right here who have actually made this entire event possible. This is miraculous. And every teacher who have worked for this is so great. And I wish this continues all across. So over to Maha. Ma'am, you can deliver your point of view.
Thank you. I would like to congratulate Selma for her wonderful speech. Actually, she was well prepared. She provides us with very important information about social media, especially social media when it comes to teenagers, to our younger generation. We all know the dangerous impacts it's play, and at the same time the positive impacts, But so that's why we are supposed to be cautious. We are supposed to be smart enough in order to know how to deal with social media in a positive way. Salma actually highlighted very important points, highlighted very important details concerning social media. We would like to say that we are really proud of her for all what she did and what she prepared. Also, the same, as I told you, unfortunately, I didn't have the chance to join you early today, but I promise tomorrow I'm gonna do, that the plan was put before. So I would like to thank every one of you for this amazing achievement, for your commitment and for your collaboration to make this event a fruitful one and a successful one. We as IIU team, actually, we are proud of our young leaders. Actually, they are young leaders because they are able to do many things. I'm in love with their motivation. I'm in love with their enthusiasm to make such an amazing events. Also, in order to make their voice, for example, to raise their voice in order, for example, others to hear them. You are, if I want to say briefly, in order not to take a lot of time, you are our real source of inspiration. We as adults, we learn from you a lot, and we are in love with everything you do it. Hope you are going to be able to achieve more and more, and also to chase your dreams more and more, to reach to a stage that you are going to be really proud about yourself, as we are now proud about each member of you. Okay, thank you a lot. Floor is yours.
Thank you, ma'am. And especially the students right from the start, be it Mariam, be it Mannat, be it Shanawaz, be it Salma, be it Gopinath, each and every one of them. They just rocked the floor, and you especially missed half of the part of it. And I wish, earlier tomorrow we can get on to this in a better platform, in a better stage.
Yeah, sure.
Inshallah.
I'm honored to be with you, and it's a really pleasure. But as I mentioned, just because everything was planned earlier, so I wasn't able to manage my schedule. I know I miss a lot, but at least I had a chance to meet each one of you, to thank each one of you for the huge effort you did today, not just today. You did yesterday and throughout the month in order to come up with such an amazing conference and such an amazing information. I saw great collaboration among the team, and I highly appreciated that. That's a real, if we want to say, that's the real point for success. The more we are going to collaborate, the more we are going to work together in such a spirit, in high spirit, we are going to be successful all together. So congratulations again.
Thank you for that. And dear students, it is for your reference that we are going to come up with a lot of sessions like this in future as well, be it, leading with anyone else and everyone else right here. So you can be a part of IIU anytime and every time.
Yes.
Over to you, Azra.
Thank you.
Okay. So I would firstly like to start off by saying thank you for everyone for being here. Today was such an amazing program, and I'm like so happy that I actually got this opportunity to moderate this wonderful event today. And I now hand you over to Daitri, who wants to say a few words.
Actually, we are out of words. Most of the time we were speechless as to how the students have completely,
yes, definitely.
researched stuffs and, brought into so much of innovation and so much of stuffs. Like, damn, this is mind blowing.
Yes, definitely. Like they've blown us away.
So,
okay, Daitri, go ahead.
As Maha ma'am said, success begins together. So to be honest, I was just one day I was just writing my own poem, and then I came up with the idea as an initiative for the conference. And as I was working on social media, so I came up with the point that why shouldn't we do a conference related to social media with the children? And then I developed the contacts with the IIU members, and then I formed a wonderful team of like Aisat from India, Azra from South Africa, and Tatenda from Zimbabwe. I am really thankful to all the participants for participating in the project and making this event a successful. And I make sure that I will also come up with the various kind of initiative in future. And I hope that you all stay throughout the events. Thank you.
Thank you, Dahiti. It's a really pleasure to meet you today. We've been contacting for weeks or more, but the first time to see your lovely face. You are really amazing, and you really deserve all this success because you work hardly throughout the week or throughout the month, actually, to collaborate among your friends from different countries, and you deserve actually a huge or a very big congratulations. Big love for you.
Thank you to my team as well for making this conference a wonderful event.
So, anyone else would like to say something?
This is merely on an end note. So yeah, without any further delay, I think, we can catch up on tomorrow and we can complete all the extra stuffs tomorrow as well. So stay tuned. And yeah, the live is ending and the meeting is also ending. Thank you, everyone.
Definitely.
Thank you everyone for joining.